This July at UFC 318 in New Orleans, Dustin Poirier won't be the only Louisiana native stepping inside the octagon in front of his home crowd. New Iberia's own crispy Carli Judice is set to face Nicolai Calilari ahead of the Diamond's last dance. News and Sports anchor Jonathan Bulot details her road to the octagon as we go beyond the jersey.
UFC women's flyweight fighter crispy Carli Judice was frosting cupcakes and helping with the family business long before she began knocking on the door of MMA stardom.
I grew up in a cake shop, right? My granny owned a cake shop. She made wedding cakes, sweets. She sold cake supplies and different things like that. And we lived, right behind her for half of my life. So we were always in the cake shop helping her stock the shelves and eating sweets any time of the day. So the whole idea of crispy, obviously I want my fighting style to be crisp and smooth and fast. So that's the main part of it. But the pun behind it is Krispy Kreme donuts. I love sweets. I'll eat sweets any part of the day.
Stepping inside the cage wasn't Carli's first option. She was a talented softball player. Judice was offered to play at the next level with the McNeese Cowgirls, but after nearly 2 years with the program, she walked away from college softball entirely. Judice packed her bags and returned home to Lafayette to figure out her next step.
I just remember being so scared to tell them that I was just sick of it. I didn't want to play anymore. I was just burnt out. I was just ready to give up and just quit. I wasn't chasing that dream anymore. So I moved back home. I was just working. I was working at Outback. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was just like, well, this is kind of awkward. I played sports my whole life. Now I'm just working at Outback, eating blooming onions and eating bread and butter. So I was just confused and lost for like a 6-month period. And then that's when I got into MMA. I started at Head Kicks MMA on Johnson Street. And then I've been there ever since, and it just started rolling, and here I am now. So it's an amazing, amazing journey to look back on.
And what a journey it has been. Judice had her first pro fight in October of 2022, earned a UFC contract less than a year later during Dana White's Contender Series, and is now coming off her first win in the UFC after defeating Younessi Dubin in March via first-round knockout.
Every single practice I go to, I'm focusing on how can I make these tiny little movements better so I'm overall a better fighter. So I feel like that played a huge role in, my fight and my knockout. I had so much more confidence in myself, and I knew I was going to come in there and not be the same fighter I was when I lost those two.
After her big win against Dubin, Judice was very vocal about wanting to represent Louisiana as a part of UFC 318. Now that dream has become a reality as Judice will square off with Nicolai Calilari on July 19th. Judice is looking to make a statement not just for herself, but for all female fighters.
I just want to break the image that female fighters are not technical and not good and just, not a lot of people like to watch females. So I want to, every time I go in there and after this fight, I want people to be like, dang, Carli can strike, Carli can fight, and she's a dog. So that's what I want to show the world every time I step in there.
Reporting, Jonathan Bulot, Caleb Fly, News 10 Sports.